Okay, here are the answers to the 413 review preview. Solve each of the following systems algebraically. What do the solutions tell you about each system? So for the first one, they're already equal to y, so I'm just going to set them equal to each other. So I do 3x minus 5, negative 2x minus 15, 5x minus 5 equals negative 15. So x equals negative 2. Plug that back in, I end up with negative 11. So 2, negative 11 was my solution. For B, I'm going to add 5 to both sides, or 7 to both sides. So I get y equals negative 2x plus 7. Plug that in. 4x plus 2 times negative 2x plus 7 equals 14. These cancel out, and I get 14 equals 14, which there's infinite solutions. So it really tells me they're the same line. C, y, I can set them equal to each other again. So I do 14x plus 17 equals 2 groups of x plus 3 minus 5. Add 5 to both sides. Actually, I'm going to have to, I can do that, but I'm going to have to multiply out x plus 3. So I end up with 14x plus 22 equals 2 groups of x plus 3 squared. Divide by 2. So I get 7x plus 11. Since I can't square 7x plus 11, I have to multiply out x plus 3 squared. So I get 7x plus 11 equals x squared plus 6x plus 9. So then I move everything over. So I get x squared minus x minus 2 equals 0. So I factor it. So I end up with x equals 2 or negative 1. Then I have to plug this back in. So when I do that, I actually get 2 answers. I get 245 and negative 1, 3. This one, again, they're both equal to y, so I can set them equal to each other. So I get 3 groups of x minus 2 squared plus 3 equals 6x minus 12. So I subtract 3 from both sides. Minus 15, divide by 3. Two x minus 5. So then I get x squared minus 4x plus 4 equals 2x minus 5. X squared minus 6x plus 9 equals 0. So then I factor it. So I get 3 as my answer. When I plug it back in, I get 6. So answer is 3, 6. Problem 41, solve each equation. Think about different methods I could use to solve it. So I add 5 to both sides. So I get y plus 1 squared equals 16. So I know 4 squared is 16. So I think about things y can equal to give me to 4. So y can equal 3. Or I can have y equal negative 5. Those are both my solutions. So this one I know that it's a square root. So I know that the inside has to equal 100. So I get x equals 99 over 4 and negative 99 over 4. For this one, I added 3 both sides. So I got 6y minus 1 over y equals 5. So I multiply both sides by y. So I get 6y minus 1 equals 5y. So I get negative 1 equals negative 1y. So y equals 1. This one, I have to cube both. So I get 1 minus 2x equals 27. So I get negative 2x equals 28. So I get x equals negative 14. Sorry, go back to that one. This should have actually been 26. So this should be negative 13. Problem 42 says this problem is a checkpoint, so write the explicit and the recursive. I'm really just looking that you guys can write the explicit. So this one, the explicit is t of n equals 3n minus 2. For this one, the explicit is it's exponential, so it's t of n equals 6 times 1/2 to the n. So don't worry about the recursive, at least for right now. Parts C and D, write an explicit rule. For this one, I'm going up by 20, so I start at 24. I'm going down by 7. So it's t of n equals 24 minus 7n. This one, it's t of n 5 times 1.2n. So for E, it says write the arithmetic sequence. If we have Tn equals 1,500 and 1,056 and T of 12 equals 116. So it's definitely going down by something. So I could do it by like finding the slope. So I ended up with T of n was a negative 188x plus 2,372. Problem 43 says Westworld had an 18-foot water slide. The angle of the elevation of the slide, the angle it forms with the horizontal line. At the end of the slide, there's a 6-foot drop in the pool. After you climb the ladder to the top of the slide, how many feet above the water level are you? Draw a diagram. So we're trying to figure out how high we are. This is the information that was given. So we would use sine. So we're going to know that sine 18 sine of 50 is going to equal x. So when we do that, and then we to the answer, we're going to add 6 to it because we had the 6 for the drop. It's 19.79 feet. 44, find the slope and the y-intercept of each below. So the first one's given to us in the equation. M is the slope. So m equals negative 6/5. The y-intercept is b, which is negative 7. For in the next problem, we have to solve for it a little bit. So we have to subtract 3x from both sides. So y ends up equaling 3 over 2x minus 5. So m is 3 over 2, and b is negative 5. See, this line goes through that point, so we have to find the slope. So we do 4 plus 2 over 8 minus 5, which is 6 over 3, or 2. So my slope is 2. Plug it back in, so I get 4 equals 16 plus b. Negative 12 equals b, and m equaled 2. Problem 45, examine the graph for each relation below. For each part, decide if it's a relation, is a function, and then state if it's a relation or a function. So, and then state the domain and range. So in the first one, it's a relation. It's not a function because of the vertical line test. And the domain is -3 is less than or equal to x, which is less than or equal to 3. The range is exactly the same. For this one, it is a function, and its domain, it goes from -2 to +3, and its range goes from -2 to +2. Problem 46, it says solve the system below. Hint, put them in your graphing calculator. Actually was a false hint. We can't graph that in our graphing calculator, but I know some things about 2, and then I know that 2 to the 4th power equals 16, and then I know that 2 to the -3rd power equals 1/8, which tells me that x plus y equals 16, and 2x plus y equals -3. So I multiply by negative, so I get x plus y equals 16, -2x minus y equals 3. So I get -x sorry, this is 4. Like, wait, what went wrong? So when doing this, x plus y has to equal 4, -3. So we multiply by -1, we get 4 and a +3. So x would equal -7. Plug it back in. -7 plus what equals 4. It ends up y equals 11. So the answer is -7, 11.